Welcome to my New York City vlog, where we stayed in the super touristic but practical Midtown area. My husband and I came to celebrate his birthday and our first wedding anniversary in mid-September, and the weather was perfect for us in the high 70s. We passed through Times Square on our way to try John's Pizza, which I heard about in a few New York City guide videos. The pizzeria is housed in a former 19th century church. We tried the margherita and the bruschetta pizza. In our opinion, even as cheese lovers, we thought it was way too cheesy and chewy. The taste was good though, and we were really hungry from our flight. We then continued walking down Times Square and stopped at the Hard Rock store because we saw the DeLorean time machine from Back to the Future, which was a trilogy we had just rewatched as we were going to see the Broadway show the following night. Afterwards, we went to check out Bryant Park to kill some time before our 9:30 reservation at a rooftop bar. There was a salsa concert that night. Bryant Park is one of my favorite parks in New York as it shows a contrast between nature and the city as it's surrounded by tall buildings. We had actually come out of Grand Central Terminal earlier when we had arrived from JFK, but we didn't get to see the iconic main concourse and had some time, so we decided to check it out.
Excuse me, where's traffic? Your attention.
As our reservation approached, we headed over to the Skylark rooftop bar. I really enjoyed the spot when I had visited with my mom the year before because the drinks are good and the view is, you can see for yourself. My favorite is how close and clear the Empire State is seen. You can also see the glow of Times Square. It was a little cold and their heaters weren't working, so we went inside for another 2 rounds. We walked down Times Square again for my husband's birthday at midnight.
At the super popular spot. Can you see where are the stairs? We're gonna go watch this play on Friday night. That's tomorrow night. Yes. Eight minutes left until he turns. How old are you turning?
31.
31. What is all of this? 2 minutes left, man. 2 minutes till your birthday. It's midnight and we're celebrating with a million of our closest friends. A really nice one.
It's like, a hotel like that in the US would cost like $1,000.
The next day, we celebrated my husband's birthday, starting off with brunch at Tartinerie in Greenwich Village, which we really enjoyed. Then we walked over to Washington Square Park before exploring the area by foot. We made a stop at Chelsea Market, but it's not my favorite place, so I didn't get any footage. This time I was interested in visiting the Little Spain Market at the end of the High Line, which is a food market, and I seriously wish we had been hungrier. Luis and I had recently finished watching the Jose Andres show on HBO, so we knew a little bit more about Spanish food, and we were curious to try everything. In the end, we went with croquetas and patatas bravas. I came here last year with my mom and they still had all of this scaffolding around it. What the heck? After a bit of a walk, we got some gelato at Italy. I needed coffee, but there was no sweetener at their kiosk, so we went inside to get some and take a seat. I wanted to check out Koreatown this time. It's really only about 2 blocks filled with restaurants and bars, including a karaoke bar we did not get to go to this time, unfortunately. As we headed back to Midtown, we stopped at the New York Public Library where we sat down to admire the paintings. And though I've been here twice before, my husband pointed out to me how each mural tells the story of the written word, beginning when Moses wrote the 10 Commandments on stone to the modern printing press. Later that evening, we went to see the Back to the Future musical, which was fun and very loyal to the movie, including the fact that some of the performers looked like the actors from the movie. After the show, we went downstairs to Stardust, which I also heard a lot about. It's a diner with singing staff, and we were in the spirit, so it made sense to go. The line was long, but it moved quickly. We saved our appetite and had their $25 burgers, but they were honestly the worst burgers we ever had. People must only come here for the atmosphere. Maybe I would try a malt and fries next time, but it wasn't necessarily my scene either. In Soho the next day, we got on the wait list at Flippers at around noon on a Saturday, where the waiting time was said to be about an hour, so we decided to walk around the area, seeing if we didn't get too hungry. Well, they called us back in 20 minutes. It's a cute, small restaurant, slightly overpriced, but it's Manhattan. We weren't impressed enough with the food and their souffle pancakes, so I don't think we would come back. After brunch, we walked over to Little Italy, where surprisingly they were having a festival with food, games, and a parade for the neighborhood's patron saint, Saint Gennaro. I know each town in Italy has a patron saint, but I had no idea before this trip that the tradition was brought over by Italian immigrants from Naples, whose patron saint is also Saint Januarius. This is celebrated in Little Italy for 11 days in September.
Okay, ready guys?
A lot faster.
Next to Little Italy is of course Chinatown, and we got a refreshment at Ali Mama, a tea place I'd been wanting to go to, and I'm glad I got to go this time because the drinks were as good as they were pretty. After walking across to the other side of the island, we had a late lunch at Los Tacos Numero Uno, which I really liked the last time I was in New York. I even had it 3 times with my mom. I was excited for my husband to try the tacos, so we had one of each before ordering 2 more items.
This is adobada.
I know his enthusiasm doesn't transmit over when he's being recorded, but he really liked them. We then went over to Stone Street in Financial District, which is one of the oldest streets in the city dating back to the 17th century. It is known for its lively atmosphere filled with restaurants and bars. There seemed to be another festival going on because it was quite crowded. Luis and I are not really into this scene anymore, so we kept moving further south to Battery Park to see the sunset with a view of the Statue of Liberty. Well, it wasn't the best view, so we went to Pier 35 to finish seeing the sunset. This is a beautiful spot for a view of the 2 iconic bridges between Manhattan and Brooklyn. It's a popular spot with swings, and if you want an aesthetic picture, you have to get in line. dinner, we went back to Chinatown to Doyer Street, nicknamed Bloody Angle due to Chinese gangs in the late 1800s, early 1900s, finding it a strategic location to surprise their victims. We ate at Nam Hua Tea Parlor, and they only accepted cash, at least when we went in, near closing time. Their dim sum was delicious, but the rice was dry. Again, it could be because it wasn't the freshest at this point. However, it is super affordable, and we would go back for the dim sum. The next day was Sunday, so we went to Mass at the St. Patrick's Cathedral, which was celebrated by the Cardinal. We stayed another half hour to look around at the chapels around the cathedral, and afterwards we went to the tartineria across the street. They didn't have their special brunch menu like at the other location, but we made sure to get the chia bowl again because we really enjoyed it last time and could use the fiber when we otherwise eat like crap during our travels. After checking out Rockefeller Center, we went to the MoMA. I was never an artsy person, though I feel like my increase in travel has made me appreciate art more in general. What especially caught my attention were the surrealist portraits by Leonora Carrington and Remedios Varo, as well as the portraits by the realist Edward Hopper. Everyone wanted to see Van Gogh's Starry Night, but I think I like this one better. For a late lunch, we went back to West Village to eat at Sogno Toscano, which is an Italian, specifically Tuscan restaurant that was recommended by an Italian couple on YouTube that I follow, one of them a chef. This was one of the best meals on the trip. We had drinks at Nube Luz for sunset, which is very Art Deco and where I had the most expensive but delicious cocktail of my life. This melon and tea tequila drink with a cloud of smoke. Thank you. Well, at an average of $28 a drink, you're definitely paying for the price of this 360 view. The Empire State Building was lit up for the eve of Mexico's Independence Day, which is also our anniversary. had to get one last night view before our timed reservation was up because we definitely paid for it. We're here in Times Square. For dinner, we went to another Italian restaurant I'd been wanting to go to called Ribalta. We ordered fried calamari and a pizza for two, which was the best pizza we ever had, even in Italy, even in Quito, Ecuador, if you've seen those vlogs. The next day was September 16th, our 1-year ceremonial wedding anniversary. We had breakfast at Ralph's Coffee, which is super cute and aesthetic, but a bit pricey as you might expect. We really liked the coffee and donut that we got, but the sandwiches we could have definitely done without. There's Mr. Sheffield's house. Mr. Sheffield. Number 7 on 45th Street. Already peeked inside. Is not as, obviously not like the set. Oops, can't really see the reflection. Oh, there, covering it with my hand. That is exactly though.
Gotta write it down.
After visiting a bit of the west side, we took a bus back to Fifth Avenue and decided to walk the rest of the way to our hotel and then get ready for our anniversary dinner at Lily's Victorian establishment.
Let's do it.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And then we I personally enjoy the 70s disco music they played, the food and drinks, but I would skip their house-made creme brulee because it just did not taste right to me. We also went to a speakeasy style bar at a subway station to end our last night in the city. Our last day we had breakfast at Yes Tartinerie for the third time. We really liked that chia bowl. But they ran out of what I wanted, so we ate light before going over to the Hue, which is a food court I'd also been to the year before, so I ended up getting the same bowl that I had really liked and sharing it with Luis. Then we went to Spongy's in Chinatown to get a dozen to go. Thank you if you made it to the end, and be sure to like this video if you did and consider subscribing for the occasional travel vlog.